I would. Hi. Good morning, everybody. First off, it's great to be in Tampa. This is a wonderful city. It's a wonderful melting pot. It's a great place to get a job, and it's a great place to raise your kids. I have a daughter, son-in-law, and 5 grandkids that live here, and they love Tampa. Unfortunately, they liked it more than my hometown in Naples, where they used to live. We're here to talk about hurricane season. Hurricane season starts June 1st, and we have to get ready. If you look at what happened last year with Ian, you guys got lucky. You prepared, you evacuated, you did all the right things, and then it came and hit basically where I live. And it was horrible. We lost a little over 150 people, and that's devastating. So the most important thing I tell people is take the time now to get ready. You have to get ready. In our case, our house got damaged, we lost cars, that's all replaceable. The most important thing is we didn't lose a family member. I think you just have to really think about how do we prepare ourselves so we never lose a family member. So 7 days of water, 7 days of food, get your medicine, get your documents, have a radio, have the batteries. Know your cell phone's great, but when the electricity goes out, it's not gonna last very long. You can, Randy's going to talk about it a little bit here, what you can do and what you can get. But there's a variety of sites you can go to. At the federal level, you can go to ready.gov and see it. But the city has them, the county has them, sheriff's department has them, and a place like here, they'll have a list of what you can get and what you need to get. But the most important thing I tell people is just think about this. You cannot imagine the devastation to your life if you lost a loved one. I mean, it's devastating. So you just got to think. You've got to get prepared to make sure that doesn't happen. Sales tax holiday starts tomorrow, May 27th through June 9th. Take advantage of it. Don't have to pay the state sales tax. We were able to do that while I was governor, and they're continuing that tradition, which I think started even before I was governor, which is a great way to give people an incentive to go get prepared right now. So I think that's my list. Now we have a variety of individuals that are going to come up and talk about the importance of this, and everybody. This is a team's event, but it starts with you. So the city's going to do the job, the county's going to do the job, the state's going to do the job, the federal government's going to do their job. I've got offices all around the state. We won for the best constituent service team in the country last year. Alex's team did that, and it wasn't anything I did. They had the best constituent service team. There's also outside groups that show up. Red Cross is a big deal for this. And Meals on Wheels, they also do a good job. I've been blessed financially, so Ann and I give away my salary that I receive from my Senate job every quarter. This quarter, we're giving it to the Red Cross and to Meals on Wheels just to help them. They need 2 things. They need your financial support, and they need your volunteers. And we've got great Red Cross all across the country and Meals on Wheels across the country, but we always have the best in Florida. So with that, let me turn it over to Randy. Randy is the owner of Carolwood Window and Door, and we actually did this 5 years ago? 5 years ago.
Yep, we did. Thanks.
Hi, guys. We're just a family-owned business. We've been doing this for 23 years. So when it comes to shoring up your home, we can help you with that part. The impact products, windows, sliding glass doors, stuff like that. That'll help that part. But like Rick said, Senator Scott, I should say, your life.
I'm Rick.
Yeah, right?
The best job is grandpa, though. The best title.
But yeah, your lives are way more important than your stuff. We were lucky last year, and I've got a lot of friends that stayed over in St. Pete Beach. It's a barrier island, and we could have lost our lives, people. It just isn't that important. We can replace the stuff. Let's take this serious. We got lucky in 2004. We got lucky last year, but our luck's going to run out sooner or later. So please take them serious. If it's time to go, it's time to go, man. Just get out. All right. So without any further, I don't want to keep you on my soapbox. I'm going to introduce Ken Hagan, County Commissioner.
Hey, Ken.
Well, thank you, Randy. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Senator Scott, for bringing us together in advance of the upcoming 2023 hurricane season. Having discussions such as this regarding hurricane preparedness will only help save lives. So again, thank you Senator Scott. In September 2022, as we all know, Category 5 storm Hurricane Ian struck Florida that resulted in a loss of life that we have not seen in nearly 90 years. As Senator Scott stated, Tampa Bay was spared the full fury of Ian's impact, but our fellow Floridians across the southwest coastline were not so fortunate. In total, nearly 150 lives were lost and an estimate of, I believe, $109 billion in damages. But with all we know about the science of hurricanes, the technology that is employed, and the relief that is provided during a recovery, preparedness is still the best strategy to survive a natural catastrophe. Hillsborough County is ready to help residents make a plan of action that will be essential to surviving a destructive force. Now is the time to plan and prepare. Hillsborough County has helpful web links that will help provide the resources which can be used now, so when the time comes, you can be prepared to keep you and your loved ones safe and protected. I'd like to make everyone aware of the Hillsborough County Disaster Preparedness Guide, which is now posted online and will be available in print within the next couple of days. This guide is the most comprehensive planning tool you can have to be prepared. You'll learn your evacuation zone, where the shelters are located, how to make plans for your pet, and make a survival stockpile to get you through the storm's aftermath. So I would encourage everyone to get a copy of the preparedness guide and start making your plan. Go to Hillsborough County's home webpage, click on the link at the bottom, which is the county hurricane preparedness plan. This will also direct you on how you can sign up to receive emergency alerts and information when a storm is approaching. You can find that at www.hillsboroughcounty.org. Again, that's www.hillsboroughcounty.org, and start making your plan. Thank you, Randy, for hosting us today. And again, thank you, Senator Scott, for allowing us to have this platform, to have this critically important discussion. Thank you.
And you want to just talk about how long it takes to evacuate, just because, I mean, you guys are somebody, you guys are talking about up here. It's not like you can just get on the highway and get out if everybody's leaving at the same time.
When the announcements are made, you really do need to get out at that point, because inevitably what happens, people wait, and then it will take literally days to get out. And the important thing that I mentioned is know your evacuation zone, because inevitably what happens, sometimes you can be north of the storm, several layers, and those folks are essentially high and dry, yet they'll evacuate, which will further clog the roads, which will make it even more difficult and challenging to get out. So know your evacuation zone, know your evacuation route, and plan accordingly. When the announcement is made, don't wait. Get out at that point. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Now we're going to hear from the Chief Deputy of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. You have a great Sheriff's Office here, Donna Luczynski.
Good morning. I'd like to thank Senator Scott for being here today and again bringing this important matter to the forefront. Living in Florida, we all know and expect that during the hurricane season we'll experience some type of weather-related events. Even afternoon thunderstorms here can sometimes cause significant impacts to us. And as said, we witnessed the devastating impacts from Hurricane Ian last year in Lee County and several other counties. We sent our Sheriff's Office personnel down there first and foremost to help and assist them, but also to learn and be prepared for what we would need to do if such an event would occur here during a true crisis. But it's important that the public plans as well. And as said, plan ahead. Buy your supplies now. We've witnessed how quickly the store shelves will clear once we hear storms are coming on the news. So prepare your packet, your emergency kit, with food, water, flashlights, batteries, important information, and medicines. Have a plan to secure your house, your pets, and also somewhere to go in the event you have to evacuate. Stay connected with your Sheriff's Office and other local emergency management services on social media and the news. And if instructed, as the Senator just said, if you're instructed to evacuate, evacuate at that time, because it does create a log jam and people panic and wait to the last minute, and we don't want you out on the roads while the storm comes in. Again, also it presents a challenge for us if you need help after the fact. We may not be able to get to you timely if the storm comes through. So it's, again, if you're asked to evacuate, please do so. Again, thank you for having us here today, Senator, and we ask everybody stay safe.
Now we're going to hear from Paul Anderson. Paul is the president and CEO of Port Tampa Bay. But by the way, after this, I'm going up to Mexico Beach, and these hurricanes. What the deputy sheriff said is, in a bad hurricane, it could take hours before they can get in. I mean, they can't get out in the middle of a storm. The helicopters can't go. Large vehicles can't go because the wind will devastate them. So you have got to have this in advance, and you don't know how hard it's going to be to get. For them to get, they'll do all the first responders will bust their butt to get there, but it's not easy. Paul Anderson.
Thank you very much, Senator Scott. Randy, thanks for having us here today. Again, I'm Paul Anderson, President and CEO of Port Tampa Bay. And we at Port Tampa Bay take hurricane season very seriously. We just completed on May 1st our annual hurricane exercise. Almost 150 stakeholders from federal, state, and local agencies. Every agency here we work very closely with. I want to thank Senator Scott. Going back to when he was governor, he was really focused on hurricane preparation, and I know that's why we're here today. Talk about it. First, take care of your family. That's the most important thing. Be prepared. But at Port Tampa Bay, we have a Port Heavy Weather Advisory Group that consists of the United States Coast Guard, our tugboat operators, all the oil companies, all of the key stakeholders to be prepared for not only a resilient port, but also a port that can recover very quickly. Everybody wants to know what's happening with gasoline after a storm. And to that end, we're a fuel gateway for the state of Florida with over 100 million barrels of fuel coming into the port. Our commitment is to get the fuel flowing as soon as possible. After Ian, we were very fortunate that it took a different track. Unfortunately, other people weren't, but we had fuel flowing within 8 hours of the storm crossing through the beaches. And our goal is to serve the Tampa Bay. We supply about half the fuel for the state of Florida and make sure that we're prepared and again, make sure you're prepared. Thanks again, Senator Scott, for having us today.
Yeah, the key is don't run out of gas. One thing you learn in hurricanes, don't run out of gas, don't run out of power, make sure your phone works. So every hurricane you learn something new. But what we learned on the I think with Irma is we had to get everybody involved in the oil and gas industry to work together, and we had to get these ports open fast because people were buying 9 times as much gas per day. To try to get ready. Next, we're going to hear from the interim chief of the Tampa Police Department, Lee Burkow.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Scott. And one thing that we like to say in Tampa is that we're safer together. We're in one of the greatest cities in the nation, and if the mayor was here today, she would be telling you that. But we're also one of the most prepared cities. As the senator said before, we had that opportunity last year to prepare for what was impeding coming our way. And our neighbors just to the south, they had that devastation, and they're still recovering from that. And there's a lot of lessons learned and a lot of takebacks. And we did send our resources down there as well. And we got an idea of what it would be like if that were to happen here. So you have to know your zone. Just like it's been said before, know your evacuation zone and then pay attention to the alerts. If you wait till too long, it's going to take too long to get out. Plan and prepare. Any critical incident, you have to mitigate it, and that's preparedness, response, and recovery. And preparedness is what we're talking about today. Know how to prepare, know your evacuation zone, have a toolkit ready. There's plenty of websites to go. If you live in the city of Tampa, it's very easy, tampa.gov/hurricane. That'll give you the resources that you need in our city. What's very important here in the city of Tampa is our partnerships. You can see them all standing here behind, from the senator all the way down. Federal, state, and local all work really well together, not just in hurricanes, but in large-scale events, whether it's a Super Bowl or whether it's a parade. So we have that ability to work very well together. So I would just to close with, like everybody said here, is pay attention to the alerts, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the website, and act immediately and have your toolkit ready. Thank you.
So what you find is if you, I live in West Florida, so we are down where the devastation was. All the first responders, they show up. a lot of them, they lost their homes and they still showed up. So police departments, sheriff departments, all the first responders really do a great job. Next, we're going to hear from the chief of Tampa Fire, Barbara Tripp.
Thank you, Senator, for having us here today, and thank you, Randy, for hosting this, And I know you've heard the same words, prepare, being ready. We can't stress to you all enough to prepare your families, your friends, and also your neighbors. We have to look out for one another. As the Senator states, is that when you call 911, we want to be there for you. We want to be there to help you. But sometimes you might put us in a bad situation if you do not plan ahead or evacuate as you should. So when you talk about preparing, get a kit, make a kit, come up with ideas of what you would need in case if you have to be isolated for a certain period of time, meaning food, your medicine, important papers, documents, okay? Don't forget about our elderly family members as well as our neighbors. Reach out to them. We have so many different shelters that are spread out throughout the city and the county that are there for you to be able to get that assistance. If you need additional information, please reach out to tampa.gov/hurricane to get additional information. But we also have ready alerts, meaning Tampa Ready. You can text Tampa, T-A-M-P-A, ready, R-E-A-D-Y, all one word, to 888-777. Once again, Tampa ready to 888-777, and you'll be able to get updated alerts. We're talking about evacuations, being in the public safety realm. We always hear of family members like, oh man, I should have got out. We don't know when it's going to happen. Of course, last year, Ian was headed towards the Tampa Bay area. I don't want to say lucky that we lucked up, but of course we was fortunate. But we also had our partners in South Florida that was not as lucky as we were, fortunate. So we don't want that to happen to us. So when you hear that you need to evacuate, please make sure you evacuate. Don't forget, prepare, plan ahead. Get those kits, take advantage of the tax breaks that we're getting this coming up starting tomorrow, and get our families ready. We just never know when or where it's going to take place. So once again, thank you and prepare.
So after Ian hit, there are if you were down there at the Emergency Operations Center down in Lee County, there are thousands of people stranded, and so please try to get there. National Guard tried to get there, fire departments tried to get there, people from all over the state came in, but when there's no bridges, it's pretty dangerous. So you've got to evacuate and you got to get ready. Now we're going to hear from Jose Bueno, Red Cross Community Preparedness and Partnership Manager. The Red Cross does an unbelievable job trying to help before and after.
Thank you, Senator Scott, and thank you, Carwood Windows and Doors, for inviting us. I'm Jose Bueno, or Joe Good in Spanish, with the Red Cross. I just want to have a very simple message for all the community. Let's make sure that we have a kit. So get a kit, make a plan, and be informed. Those are the 3 pillars of preparedness for families in Central Florida and all Florida. So make sure that you also visit our website. You can always go to redcross.org/prepareflorida. And all the information in English and 9 other languages will be available for the families. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, we can answer any questions with regard to hurricane preparedness. If there's questions on other things, I'll be glad to do that afterwards. But we can answer any questions you have. But you can rebuild that house, you can buy a new car or another used car, but you can't rebuild a life. So any questions anybody has for anybody up here?
This is probably for the chief. We're probably going to be buying generators now, and how important is it for generator safety and not putting it in years and halls?
Thank you for asking that question. So, of course, we know 9 times out of 10, even if the storm doesn't hit us directly, we have some sort of power outage because of the wind, some of the aftermath that may come place. So we want everyone to, if you purchase a generator, make sure it has to be outdoors, make sure you follow the directions, and make sure you get assistance if you don't know how to operate. We do have additional information on our website, which is tampa.gov/hurricane, that talks about generators and be able to assist you, because if you put it inside the home, now you're creating another hazard or disaster, and we don't want that. So generators are definitely important. And also, be prepared with a lot of the local retail stores that have generators because sometimes it's delayed with ordering them. So you want to go ahead and put your order in now and get those generators into your home.
Senator, this question is for you. You have a long history of responding to hurricanes, and you long maintain that it's not a partisan issue. Why do you take that approach?
We don't care about, we take, everybody up here, they take care of everybody. That's the job. I mean, you're supposed to, we're supposed to try to do everything we can to keep everybody alive. The way I look at it is, my job is to do everything I can to keep everybody alive. Who cares about politics? Truth is, all the problems could be solved if we were less political, actually, in DC too. But that's a different story. But no, this is all about keeping people alive. And really, I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to go and talk about it, but if you were down to the devastation, I'm going to Mexico Beach. I mean, they had 9-foot storm surge. You go to, if you look at what happened in Sanibel, and I went there right after the hurricane, I mean, the homes are just devastated. You're not going to survive. If you go to almost any of the TV stations in town, they'll have some information on, and they'll show you during the hurricane, but ahead of what a storm surge does. You will not survive 6 foot of storm surge. You don't. It kills you. I mean, you're not going to tread water for 24 hours. So you've got it. If you look at these storms now, with the new building codes, unless you have an older house, a lot of this is now just a water event. It's a water event with flooding. It's a water event with storm surge. If you go to, I was in Kissimmee yesterday with Ian. It was not a wind event in Kissimmee. Areas flooded in Kissimmee that no one ever would have imagined they had flooded. And it came up so fast on these houses. So one neighborhood I was in last year after Ian hit, it came up within 3 hours they were asleep. And it came up and it was 3 feet in their house. So I just tell people, you just got to take this stuff seriously. What else?
Can we do Spanish on the podium?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ya comenzó la temporada de huracanes, lo que significa que las familias deben aprovechar todas las oportunidades para hacer un plan y prepararse. Puede encontrar los recursos y la información sobre cómo crear un plan de emergencia en www.ready.gov. En caso de una tormenta, manténgase atento a las noticias y sigue las instrucciones de los oficiales de seguridad, los oficiales locales, y de gestión de emergencia. Tengo 9 oficinas en la Florida listas para ayudar a los floridanos. Si necesita ayudar con FEMA, SBA o cualquier agencia federal, puede contactar mis oficinas en el estado o visitar mi sitio web rickscott.senate.gov para más información. Como siempre digo, puedes reconstruir tu casa, pero no puedes reconstruir tu vida. Gracias. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks for coming by.